Well, this is gonna be kind of a fun, different video. I just felt like doing it because I get a lot of comments and they're generally the same. So this is 5 don'ts when it comes to aquascaping. Welcome to the Small Scape. On Saturday, usually I bring you some tips and tricks, maybe some little hacks, some fun things that I find. This one, I felt like doing something a little bit different. And this is 5 don'ts when it comes to aquascaping, especially for those beginners that are watching. Number 1, and you know the channel you're watching, okay? So these are kind of different. These are not any tips that you're gonna hear anywhere else, I betcha. Especially the first one. Okay, you ready? I'm gonna start off with the weirdest one first. Tip number 1, don't care. That's right, don't care what your aquascape is going to look like. Now I'm gonna qualify that very heavily. I don't mean just throw it all in a tank and just say, well, there we go. I mean, don't put so much stress on yourself that it has to be right, it has to look good, it has to look like a picture that you had maybe in your head. And if you care so much, at least if you're like me, I will put so much pressure on myself that I care too much. And then your artistic, your creativity will be stifled, and you won't be just kind of just feeling the aquascape and having fun. Because the idea for aquascaping is not only making a nice little home for your fish or fishes, but is also, it's an enjoyable hobby, at least it should be. Number 2, don't measure. Don't measure yourself up to anybody else. Any professional aquascapers, any aquascapers you see on YouTube, or there's a lot of great aquascapers out there, especially I brought you a lot of tanks from Aquashella. That is very tough as an aquascaper to go and look at these amazing aquascapes if you are in the wrong mindset, as my scapes don't look like that. My scape doesn't look like that. Oh my gosh, I will never scape like that, right? How are you gonna get any better? Look at all these different aquascapers. Look at all their different styles, see which style you like the best, and then just start thinking and you can stare, do the SAS method. Sit and stare. Just stare at a scape you really like, or stare at a scape you don't really, you're like, yeah, it's not really my style. Try and figure out why. Is it how much stuff is in there? Is it how much contrast is or is not in there? Different plants you like, different rocks you like and or don't like. But yeah, don't measure yourself up to anybody else. Just stick with your own skill set and always try and run a better race. You know, like they always say in sports, don't go up against anybody else, just get yourself a better time. I think that's what they tell you. I don't really know. I'm not in sports. Number 3, don't stop believing. Every time I look at my little notes, I laugh because I think of Journey song. Don't stop believing. But anyways, don't stop aquascaping. Say you are going to aquascape. You have your supplies, you have your plants, you have your rocks, maybe your driftwood. I would highly recommend that when you put a scape together, don't necessarily stop right away. Sometimes I have, especially in competitions, I have just put something together and I said, oh, I'm done. All right, that looks okay, I'm done. When I think, you know what, try something else. You can even take a picture of it. I've done that before. So you know how you've placed the rocks if you want to go back to it. But sometimes with certain materials, you're not going to have an infinite amount of different rocks and wood. Maybe you're just going to have a set amount for a tank. Try some different combos. Try some different combinations of how you place things. Who knows? The more you play with it, the more you may come up with a different sort of scape that you like even better. And then you can avoid that constant scaping that maybe you have. Do you have that? Are there certain tanks that you look at and you're constantly aquascaping them because you just don't like them? I have a tank downstairs, the Severum tank downstairs. It's my arch enemy. Number 4, don't doubt. Don't doubt your own ability. So many comments I get are, I can't aquascape, I can't aquascape like this person or that person. I will never be able to do that. Come on now. Where's the positive attitude? I would just recommend don't doubt yourself. Practice, practice, practice. If you're looking, especially with the measuring thing, if you're looking at a professional aquascaper or just somebody on YouTube that aquascapes a lot, or maybe they aquascape tanks every week, every other week, how much time are they spending aquascaping? I guarantee that there's a whole bunch of duds that they've had to go through that they didn't like, they ripped it apart, and they keep improving and they keep practicing. So if you're just looking to do a scape maybe every other month, once a year, and if you're not practicing, well, you're not going to improve, probably in your own eyes. So my suggestion is practice. Get yourself a dry scape area. I'm going to be setting some up in certain little teaser there for you. Different size tanks that are just ready to rock. Anytime you want to try something out, it's ready to go. And you don't have to worry about filling up with water because it's your practice tank. I highly recommend always having a practice tank. Number 5, this kind of wraps it all up. Don't be your own worst enemy. Kind of says it all. You know, if anybody should be pulling for yourself, it's you. So for those of you who don't like your aquascapes, don't think you're good enough, or are whatever, don't be your own worst enemy. Be your best friend. Tell yourself, I can do it. I work with somebody, her name is Ellie, and she has a really good phrase that I highly recommend that you use. It is, I am a capable person. There you go. You can change it if you'd like. I am a capable scaper. I'm a great aquascaper. Any of those. Take one. Pick it. But there you go. There are my 5 don'ts when it comes to aquascaping. The idea is just to get a little bit better every single time and narrow into things that you like. It should be fun. It should always be fun. So on that note, I hope you have a great day and happy scaping.